Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. We are coming off what has been a crazy couple of weeks of playoffs in both the LCS and the LEC, and we have more craziness to come right around the corner, obviously with the LCS playoffs picking right back up again tomorrow. So before we get back into the LCS playoff action, I wanted to go over a couple of pretty spicy LCS storylines and stories that have come up that are directly related to these LCS playoffs, some of what we've already seen and some of what we're going to continue to see going down the stretch, because we still have an LCS title on the line and we still have the last world spot in the LCS on the line as well. And there's trash talk, there's winners interviews, there's loser interviews, there's a heck of a lot of stuff going on right now. One of the things was this article that got posted on Reddit from Dexerto, where it says Berserker talks about some of EG's weaknesses, saying that Danny's champ pool is an issue, calling him out a little bit, which is something that a lot of people in the community have been doing. I know a big takeaway from this weekend was, holy crap, Berserker's insane. Berserker showed up. He outplayed Danny. He's better than Danny. Berserker's underrated. Danny's overrated. EG were overrated. You know, all these crazy things going on. So it's funny to hear Berserker speak to this a little bit as well. And one of the coolest things from this interview is Dexerto says in this interview that Berserker actually said all of this himself. He says, I don't know exactly where it is, but somewhere he says that, Berserker's been working a lot on his English, and every single word of this interview was from Berserker's mouth. While there was a translator on hand to help if needed and clarify answers here and there, every word of this interview is directly from Berserker. You know, his English skills are getting really, really good. So that's very, very exciting to hear. He has a lot to say about Sven in this interview, saying, Sven knows what I play. We can see the same angles. You know what I mean? We're very in sync because he had played AD and knows what I want to do. It's not perfect yet, but we have time. So for finals and semifinals, we're going to improve. So Berserker thinks the C9 that you just saw this weekend, that 3-1 EG, is not even the best version of himself, of their bot lane, or of C9 in general, that they're going to keep getting better for semifinals and finals. And obviously you would assume that means they're going to keep getting better at Worlds and during Worlds as well. We don't quite know yet if they're going to be in, the play-ins or the main stage or whatever, but they're going to get a ton of scrims. They're going to get to play against some good teams, and that could be really, really great, not only for C9 this year, but also just for the development of players like Berserker over time as well. This was kind of funny, where Berserker says, this patch he prefers the late game AD carries. He feels like in playoffs people aren't playing too aggressive, so he likes Sivir and Zeri, but he also thinks that he can play Lucian and Draven as well. And then he also talks about Nyla, because, he's played Nyla a little bit. It hasn't gone super well, but it's going really, really good in the LPL and LCK. He says, in his experience, Nyla's not very good in Sivir and Zeri, but in the LPL and LCK, she isn't bad versus Sivir and Zeri, so maybe he should try her more. Obviously, Nyla's going to be a very, very impactful pick. We saw Patrick popping off with her this past weekend for Excel as well. So some of Worlds might be determined by what teams can pick up and make Nyla effective, what teams are going to have to ban her out, what teams aren't as good as her, because she could be a tipping point, especially as a newer champion that some people are maybe not totally understanding how to make work, or not able to make work or whatever. So that could be a little bit spicy. But here is where we get into some of this stuff. Our team's mid jungle was doing really good. Talking about in the EG series, what allowed Berserker to bot diff Danny in this series. And Berserker says our team's mid jungle was really good, and Danny's champ pool is a problem. So I feel like for EG, the meta is hard. Now, this is, like I said, this is something that not just Berserker was talking about, but a lot of people were talking about. People know Danny can be good on the scaling picks. He's good on the Jinx. He's good on the Samira. He's good on the Zeri. He's okay on the Sivir. He can be really good on the Ezreal. You have a lot of these picks, but as you start to ban some of those out and you start to pinch the pool a little bit, can Danny be as successful on the Lucian, on the Kalista, on some of these other picks, like even the Nyla, or some of these more creative things, or even like Draven and stuff like that. This could be a definite strong position for Berserker to really be able to make the most of this stuff in the series. And EG for so long has really lived and died by Danny. Yes, Inspired is a beast. Yes, Jojo Pune has been good. Vulcan and Impact are good players as well, but Danny has done insane amounts of damage for this team. He's always like 30, 31, 32% damage share. They're always giving him a ton of resources. They're always funneling into him, and they win games off him. He's the late game pentakiller, the Baron stealer, making the big play in the team fight. Even if they don't always have a great earlier mid game, you always have Danny there to maybe turn around in the late game. And Berserker's trying to say that, hey, that could maybe be a weakness of Evil Geniuses if the meta is not necessarily in their favor or necessarily in Danny's favor, and he sees that as an opportunity for them to take them down. I thought this was a pretty spicy trash talk coming from Berserker. I'm excited to hear, his English is getting better, and he's kind of, hey, we just beat them 3-1. I'm feeling good. That's what he says. He says, I'm not sure, but like in Spring Split, I was giving Danny Zeri pentakills. Danny played 3 Zeri games, and I was feeding, but this playoffs, I beat Danny, so I feel really good. So I thought that was a little bit spicy. Going on to the next LCS story, we have this interview between Fudge and Travis Gafford. This quote, Fudge, I don't really see a way we can win against 100 Thieves, which is pretty funny. Fudge been really, really good on the mic recently. Does a lot of good interviews, does a lot of good content. He seems to, be a fan favorite. So I wanted to see what Fudge had to say about what's been going on recently.
You guys now play next week, I believe, 100 Thieves. What do you think your chances are there? Because obviously you were able to upset EG. Do you think you can pull it off again with 100T?
I don't really see a way we can win against 100 Thieves. Okay. I think they seem like the best team in the league. Okay. It doesn't really seem close. Gotcha. The scrims are really, really rough. I'm hoping that we can somehow get a better draft because, I don't know, it seems really doomed.
Okay. We're really changing the strategy up on a week-to-week basis here for how you approach stuff.
What do you mean by that?
So I thought that was funny, and then obviously Fudge responds, and he's like, hey, why do people think I'm trolling? This is even more funny because last week he said how EG had kind of been struggling in scrims, and EG weren't looking so good, and that they were for sure going to be able to beat EG because, they just looked like they were out of form, whether it was they didn't understand the patch or they were just playing bad or whatever, and then obviously they go on and beat EG. Now all of a sudden Fudge is saying there's no way they're going to beat 100 Thieves. Is he trolling? Is he joking? Is he just kind of covering his ass? Does he think that 100 Thieves is really good? Has 100 Thieves been looking really good? I don't know. But it's going to be funny to watch, and then I'm glad that he doubled down. One, just giving that deadpan delivery and saying that all with a straight face is pretty funny. And then, seeing what's going to happen this weekend is obviously going to play into that as well. The last story I want to talk about coming out about LCS stuff was this, an article from Upcomer where Inspired said that he thinks TSM is a decent team. He said in scrims, they actually have one of the best results against us. He says we usually do well against 100 Thieves, TL, Cloud9, but TSM was actually going 50-50 against us, which is funny. It's spicy. It's giving TSM fans hope because the big meme, around the LCS right now is that TSM is still alive. TSM still has a chance to make it to Worlds. TSM could still get there. TSM has a better chance of making it to Worlds than Vitality, than Excel, than all these other teams that have been knocked out. There is some hope. There is some percentage chance or whatever. It's just kind of funny to hear Inspired saying this, especially coming off a week where they just got schlacked by C9. Hey, we're doing good against C9 in scrims or whatever, but that's not what we've heard from other people. That's not what we've heard from Fudge. But then also, if you have been doing good against C9 in scrims, maybe that didn't really matter. But also TSM, solo coming in, tactical coming back. All of a sudden, TSM is kind of an interesting story. And are they going to give these teams trouble? Is TSM going to push EG to the brink? Is this going to be a series, or is it going to be a quick 3-0 for EG? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to watch. And Inspired, giving TSM fans some hope coming into the weekend. Maybe he's giving them hope just to smack them right back down. Or maybe there's something actually going on here. I don't know. Weird times where, C9 is roasting on EG and EG's praising TSM. We're knocking EG down and we're building up TSM. Fudge giving some praise to 100 Thieves. Who knows what's going on? All I know is it's going to be, last weekend was a really, really fun week of both the LCS and the LEC. This next weekend is going to be a really, really fun week of the LEC and LCS once again. I can't wait to tune in. I can't wait to watch. There's going to be tons of stories to talk about after. I'm super, super excited. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Consider checking out the Twitch channel. First link in the description below. Drop us a follow, maybe a prime. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.